Cloudeclipse. This is the new max cushion shoe from On Running. Now, do they give as smooth of a ride as they claim? Okay, let's quickly rattle through our specs. So these shoes weigh 280 grams and they have a 6mm drop. They are a neutral support shoe. They have the standard lacing pattern. These are a maximum cushion shoe with an ultra thick midsole for comfort and cushioning. It has a built-in tongue to lock your feet down. It's made with Helios super foam to absorb impact, and it has an added speed board for stability and control. There are rubber pads on the outsole for additional grip. They have engineered the mesh upper for optimal breathability. It has their double Cloudtech phase technology. These shoes come in at £170. And as for shoe sizing, I would say that they come in a little bit small. This is a size 8 and I kind of wish I went up half a size. So let's start off with what I like about this shoe, and first off it is this traction. When I first ran in this shoe I was really worried. My first run, within about 4 steps, I stepped on a drain and slipped. However, I think that was my fault because ever since then they've been absolutely brilliant. They haven't slipped on any surface, no matter whether I'm running steep uphill or downhill, and a lot of the roads around by me are quite mossy and not the best tarmac, but these bind really well. They just stick great to the ground and they give you loads of confidence. So leading on from that, then they have this awesome cushion, and they have this ultra thick midsole which I think is so comfortable. It's absolutely amazing. Now it does have a really high stack height and they've done that to create all this cushion, but with that traction they still feel so secure despite the stack height, and I just think that's absolutely amazing. On that really long run they just feel so comfortable and really plush, and you just settle in and they just feel great. So continuing with the topic of comfort, let's talk about this integrated flat tongue. It is so comfortable. The way it sits across the midfoot and integrates with the laces is really comfortable, especially on a long run. Nothing about it rubs, it just fits right, which is nice. And I know a lot of people say On can be quite a narrow shoe, but I feel that with this tongue, the way it wraps around your midfoot is really comfortable, and it really gets rid of that feeling of it being cramped. And then straight on from that is the lockdown. That tongue, these laces, it all just locks you in really well. So does the heel counter. Your heel feels really supported, and despite having such a big stack height, you still feel comfortable in this shoe and confident in this shoe because it does have that lockdown. Your foot feels really connected to the shoe, so that no matter what terrain you're on, you feel the confidence. Then finally we have the laces. Now there's nothing really particularly special about these laces, they're just the standard lacing. However, I think what really shines about them is the way they're laced with the tongue. They just feel so comfortable, it locks your midfoot in really well. There's no rubbing. Every time I run in these shoes, I just come back and my feet feel absolutely great. And I just think that's all you can ask for. They bind really well, you'll never have to adjust them. I'm just really happy with them and how they feel when you get them on. They're one of those shoes that you just lace up straight away, get out the door, and they just feel fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things that I don't like about this shoe. First up is the heel and the collar area. I just think it's a little bit sharp. It's not that plush, there's not loads of cushion on it. Now, On aren't known for putting loads of cushion on the heel or around the collar, but I just feel like this one digs in a little bit, especially when running steep downhills. I feel that this really sort of digs in and attacks and can rub a bit. Now on a long hilly run that can get quite annoying. When these are on the flat they feel absolutely fine, you don't really notice it too much, but I do just think that this heel is a little bit harsh. It's squared off here, and that can dig in a bit. The other thing I don't like about them is the toe box. Now, generally On shoes can be quite narrow. However, what I think is wrong with this toe box is it tapers very early, and I think that means that you have a bit of rubbing in the toe box. I just wish it tapered a bit later and left a little bit more room for your little toe, because I do find it cramps up a little bit in the front. And I think also this shoe feels a little bit snug. I said earlier that these are a size 8 and I wish I went half a size up, and I think the taper of that toe box really adds to that sort of cramped feeling. I think overall the shoe feels really comfortable from about the heel to about the bottom of the laces, and then just once you get to this toe box, that's where it starts to feel a bit more cramped. The flat tongue definitely helps with the midfoot area and how that feels, but the toe box, I just think the shape is maybe slightly off. So I would recommend going half a size up in this shoe because I do think that will massively help, and I think you could still lock down the midfoot well half a size up and have that extra room in the toe box. So I've got another couple of things to mention, and one of them is the speed board. So this has a speed board for stability and control. Now, I'm not sure if I really notice it in this shoe much. It does feel quite lightweight and fast, which is nice, so maybe that is the speed board. But I think the big thing is they talk about it having control, and this has quite a large stack height, and I'm not usually a fan of that. However, this shoe does feel really stable despite having the stack height, so maybe it's that speed board adding to it. I can't say 100% because I just don't know. I know the traction's really good as well. Also, the other thing is that my feet do suit on shoes. They just seem to be the most comfortable shoe for me. So that's a bit of a caveat, whereas it may not work so well for everyone. So that speed board is nice because even on a long run, it does feel like you can push the pace on these. You could definitely use these as an everyday shoe if you wanted to go for intervals. These would work absolutely fine, and they'd be really good for the long run because they're so comfortable. So that speed board probably is adding much, but I don't think it's a massive highlight of the shoe. The other thing is this engineered mesh and the breathability. These are super breathable, and that is absolutely great. However, I don't feel like that's anything that's absolutely stunning about this shoe. I think breathability is just something that's to be expected now on a good running shoe. If you're paying £170 for a shoe, then you definitely want them to be breathable. I think that's really important. So the breathability is great, it's functional, it works. However, I'm not going, oh my god, they're the most breathable shoe, they're so amazing. I just think it's something that's as standard now for these shoes, but breathability does work. So to wrap up my thoughts on this shoe, I think they are really, really good. I do love them. I think the best way to go is to go half a size up, and it will slightly fix that toe box issue, yet you'll still have the lockdown in the midfoot, and I think that will work really well no matter who you are. If you do have wide feet, maybe go a whole size up, but I think half is probably enough. For me, these are a shoe that I use for recovery runs and long runs. I don't use them so much for speed sessions, however you definitely could. I think this is a shoe that you could easily use as an everyday running shoe, and you could even take it to races. They're not that heavy, they feel quite lightweight, they feel nimble, they feel fast, which is great, especially when you're doing those long runs and you feel a bit sluggish at the end. The shoe still feels fast, which can be a bit of a motivator. So if you are looking for one shoe that can just do everything, I think this is a really good shoe to choose. However, if you do want to pair these with another On shoe, then click this video up here to look at the Cloud Monster. Or if you want to look at any of the brands, then click on this playlist here, and I've got loads of shoe reviews in there for you. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you think I've earned it, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.